What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chief. And I'm your host, Dilly Dale, along with my partner Lonnie. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, good. And yourself?
Hey, I'm hanging in there, bro. Long day of work, ready to get some rest. But we gotta definitely produce the content and put it out there for the people for Chiefs Kingdom, of course. But we definitely got a lot to talk about today. We're definitely gonna be diving into the last game against the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. Also, we're gonna be talking about the upcoming game against the Los Angeles Chargers this Sunday as well, too, at Arrowhead Stadium. And then we're gonna talk about, of course, the offensive defense, seeing how we feeling definitely be entering into a week 7 upcoming. So we're definitely going to discuss that. But before we do that, we have a short message right here for you on Chief.
Get ready, Chiefs Kingdom, to unleash your passion and excitement for all Chiefs content. With the up-and-coming sports media company giving you all of the Chiefs coverage. We are raising the decibels and embracing the community of Chiefs Kingdom. Elevate your fandom and join our team who loves your team. Red Kingdom Media.
All right, welcome back to the show. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, follow us on all social media platforms right there down below on the screen. Now, Lonnie, let's go ahead and dive into it. So, the Chiefs was able to beat the Denver Broncos 19-8 on Thursday Night Football to move to 5-1. What are your thoughts on the performance, and how do you feel about the offense and defense moving forward?
Yeah, the offense looked good enough to get by. We didn't capitalize in the red zone, but I don't think those are problems that are not unfixable. I think they'll be able to fix those problems. We did unfortunately did lose a wide receiver. Have a wide receiver go down, so it may not help the offense moving forward anytime soon. But I don't. I think the offense did enough to get out of there, and the defense showed that they are here. They have arrived. This is a top 5 defense, and we're ready to go. As far as that side of the ball goes, we're willing to win games on that side of the ball. Um, I think I said this before, even on the post game, that it's going to look different winning games moving forward. Now, we're more of a defensive team. We're going to win games on that side of the ball. And sometimes we're going to put the ball in those guys' hands at the end of games. So it's going to look different. It's not going to be those 50, 55 games, 50 to 56 games. It's going to be closer games. It's going to be defensive games. We're going to really get down to the grittiness of our football team now. I think we're going to run the ball a lot more. Chiefs football is just going to look a little bit different right now until we're able to get that outside, those wide receivers sold up out there.
And honestly, I actually agree with you on that as well too, because right now the offense, they're a little shaky. However, we are getting the yardage and we are able to drive down the field. We're just not able to finish, and I think that's the struggle that we're having right now. Of course, the offense could do a lot better. The receivers can do a lot better, specifically. But at the same time, this is a group that is trying to get familiar with the offense as well. I mean, Scott Moore and Kadarius Toney already been here for a season and also a half season for Kadarius Toney, so they should be getting familiar with that. However, a lot of people are complaining about the separation that they are getting against opposing defenders, and like honestly, going through the all 22, it looks like at moments that these wide receivers are getting open. The thing is, Mahomes just had to get them the ball, and sometimes I understand that he want to utilize Kelsey because he's the main target, but it looks like he's going to him because he's familiar with him and he knows his offense to a T, and that's who he has a connection with already. However, I was saying, and something that we talked about before, I just think we need to start using him as a guy to help open up everyone else as well too. If you want him to be your first option, we'll start your progression right there and then move outwards from there. So if you go for him, he's not open at that time. When you see that next available guy, even if it's a 5 or 6 yard check down to where you get into them, they just did a quick curl route. Get it to them. That way we can just get some yardage off of that and make it an easier second or third down for us. And I think that will help them going forward as well too. With them being so young, I think we gotta condense the offense for them and make it a little bit easier. And then from there we can expand. So we gotta utilize the running game. We gotta make sure that Isaiah Pacheco is getting involved, McKinnon as well. And I also said in the live post game, Clyde at moments. Just don't use Clyde at times where I feel like we have a great momentum and you need to keep your hot guy out there like a Pacheco or McKinnon. Let's not just mess up those routine type of plays or and rhythm for that offense. Defensively, I like what you said as well too. Honestly, this is going to be a season where they're going to have to come up with a lot of games for us, just because we're trying to find ourselves on that other side of the ball. They're just going to have to make the plays, and this is a team that has always been an offensive juggernaut. So I think it's their time to actually step up and show that they can actually win some games for us as well too, and going deep into the postseason. Of course, we want to see a lot more. I think what we getting right now, they definitely could. They definitely are considered to be a top five defense, but I know we haven't played those breakout offenses yet, like the Cincinnati Bengals or the Miami Dolphins, even the Buffalo Bills as well too. Of course, we haven't seen them. However, we talked about this already, and this was a discussion that we had off the pod, and I think we brought it up a little bit in the post game as well too. It seems like the defenses around the league are catching up to all the offenses that are explosive. Miami, of course, being a team that averaged the most points per game, definitely due to Tyreek and his ability of really just spreading, being able to open up that offense for Miami and let those other guys come underneath and just really capitalize off of that. But still, we've seen moments to where if you have some great defensive backs, you're getting some pressure. It's going to be a long night for you, and we haven't seen like those breakout performances yet, other than the Miami Dolphins who scored 70 points on the different Broncos. But we know what happened after that. They actually took a loss, kind of tempered down from that, and then they had another higher performance last Sunday. But still, of course, we're ready to see what we can get from that. But other than that, I mean, honestly, I'm loving what I'm seeing. Defensively, they're tough. Spags is really dialing it up, and he's showing why he's one of the best defensive minds in the game right now. And I think it will continue this week against the Los Angeles Chargers, but we speak more about that later on. So anything else you want to add before we go ahead and move on to our next topic?
No, just like you said, just want to share. We share the same sentiment as far as that defense. Like this is going to look different, and I know a lot of Chiefs fans are just not used to that. They haven't seen it before. Just in these late day and ages, we've been winning a lot of games just offensively. Even when we had Alex Smith, we did lose a lot of games and choke at the end of a lot of games, but we won a lot of games offensively still. Just be mindful that defenses are here. It's any given day. The Eagles were just beat. And all the also other undefeated team, the 49ers, Brock Purdy, they were
Hmm.
just beat as well. So I don't think the offense. It's not the year of the offenses anymore so much. It's more of the year of any given day you run into the right secondary group and they're hitting on all four. I'm hitting on all cylinders. You may get beat just depending on how
Yep.
they cover. And so I just feel like we said the league is caught up and the defenses are here and defensive backs are a dime a dozen and you can get them everywhere and they have them and they're
Yeah.
doing their jobs.
Well, we always know we know that phrase that's always said every year. This has been a known thing that's a part of football. Don't matter if it's little league, high school, college, or NFL. It's any given Sunday, any given game day. So whatever happens during that game time, just don't ever put it past that other team that might seem like they're mediocre or not as good. They might step up that Sunday against you, and we saw that last Sunday against the Eagles and also the 49ers as well. Before we jump into our next topic, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, like, comment, and share this video as well too. And make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. It's down below on the screen right now. So make sure you tap in with the boys. Show some love. Come on, get connected. Chiefs Kingdom, we are here, baby. Let's go. All right, Lonnie, you was ready to talk about this a lot. You even hit me up and said, "Hey, man, you already know what I want to talk about. Just definitely the defense, bro. You know they've been the top dogs on the team right now. So, man, the
Yep.
defense once again had a successful performance, bro. They committed three turnovers, two being interceptions made by both Nick Bolton and Justin Reid. So, do you think this defense has been lucky so far because they now have played, in a explosive offense yet, a top, I would say five offense yet, and also is or could the reason be that those other offenses are just having trouble putting up points against this dominant defense that we have right now?
I would say some of it is luck, but some of it is skill. I would say, but it's more of it is skill. Some of it has been fortunate. Though. They have caught some offenses, unfortunately, that have not been at their best game, and they were able to beat up on those guys, which allowed your defense to get their wings up under them. So I would say some of it was luck, but a lot of it I say was skill too. This is a group that is going to their second year, and they won a Super Bowl in their first year. The secondary has been already been together 1 year. They already showed a lot of promise at the end of last year, going into the playoffs, the playoff run that they made through that AFC Championship. So I really want to say a lot of this is skill here. And the defense is really rearing their head. It's everything that we said coming into the season, that we kind of went in kind of expecting for the defense, but we never wanted to cement. So we never wanted to write it in concrete to say for sure that this was how this defense was going to come in and show up. They've actually stunned us all, but it's something that we believed was always there, being how they ended the year last year, out on top. Coming shutting down some of the best wide receiver groups, being the Bengals in the league, on their way to the top, doing it, playing the Eagles on the way out, taking some blows, but able to show that they had to fight to try and come back, even field in the passing game for a little bit. So um, just really showing their moxie. So I really think a lot of this is skill. I wouldn't say so much luck, but there has been some fortune, and we have caught some offenses that have been a little bit lesser than themselves. So I really think the real test is coming up later in the season. Like we have the Chargers here coming up. We got the Broncos again. So seeing them twice will really let us know if we really have that skill there. And then going to see Miami for sure. I think that's a matchup that we're all ready to watch. The implications that game is going to hold are going to be great. I don't even know if the Germans are going to understand what they're getting into when they watch that game. If we're still having this record and we're on a crash course to
Man,
beat Miami. So
Man, I definitely feel that. I know that you say you feel like it's a little bit of luck mixed into that as well too. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I think it's all skill. I think this is a defense that we haven't seen before. Saw in previous years as well too. Like when we are able to give up certain possessions to where they're able to get downfield, but that bend don't break style of not giving up that touchdown. I think that's a difference from what we saw before because usually when we have an offense that has some turnovers, Mahomes interceptions, and then you see the previous defense, they let them capitalize off of that and they be able to go down and score. And now they gain momentum. This is a defense that is very stingy and they're not allowing that. And I like what they're doing with the pressure that they having up front. I understand Spags have been given a lot of pressures with those linebackers and defensive backs as well too. However, I just think the front four in general, they're able to beat those one-on-ones now than in there and more often than what we've seen before. I just actually looked at the clip that's on the all-22, and we actually dropped 8 into coverage when we got a sack on Russell Wilson. We were able to go with 3 pass rushers. We had Chris Jones on the edge. We had George Karlaftis on the edge. Then we had Mike Dana right up the middle. And Chris Jones definitely obliterated the right tackle. Karlaftis was able to get past the tight end and then sneak his way to the A gap to close it off and sack Russell Wilson. This is something that we haven't seen when Spags actually has done that particular type of style of defense when he's trying to go out there and put more bodies on those wide receivers. They were able to capitalize. They were able to collapse the pockets within, 2 or 3 seconds. And that is something that was unfamiliar because at times we were like, we couldn't get any pressure at all. It seems like the quarterback would have a lot of time back in the pocket and they will be able to capitalize and find the open man and get either a first down or even a long game to set them up for a touchdown. This defense has been somewhat one of the best I have seen throughout the last 5 years, honestly. Chris Jones is playing at another level, but definitely being on that contract year. Like you said before, the defensive backs had 1 year together last season. They was kind of finding the rhythm. Now it seems like they have the chemistry to work together. You don't see a lot of, uh, you don't see a lot of bad communication when they're actually calling out things to one another. It seems like it's very fluid and they're able to understand each other based off the hand signals that they give or just the communication from word of mouth as well too. It seems like they are all on one accord. They have the same mindset and they know what they're going into once they see how the offense is set up as well too. This is a group that has been the best group from both sides of the ball so far within 6 games that we have played right now. And I expect this to keep on going forward as well. We are playing against another phenomenal quarterback, Justin Herbert, who actually will be ready to come out here because now his team is down 2-3. They're trying to fight themselves back into the AFC West and also be in contention for the wild card as well too. So I think this will be a great moment to see what the defense can do because they do have guys like Keenan Allen that can expose you at any time. We saw what he was able to do against the Cowboys last night. Even though they lost, he was able to get a big third down for them, and he's also one of the best route runners in the league. They also got guys like Josh Palmer and then also Eckler, who has came back from injury to where they can get it up to them, and they are able to make a play as well. So this will be a game to see in a tough divisional matchup, a team that has played us honestly played us the best every time we played them. They're going to give us a run for our money. So I think if we're able to hold them under 20 like we did every other team, I think I will be convinced and be like, okay, this is a group I can see do this against the Miami Dolphins. I can see them do this against the Buffalo Bills. I can see them do it against the Bengals, just because they had that matchup already with a group that, they have nothing to lose. Brandon Staley possibly could be fired this season. He's just trying to do anything in his right mind to win, and actually getting a win against the Kansas City Chiefs will definitely help him in that debate when they go into negotiations, or consider even firing him at the end of the season, or also after the season is over with as well too. So it's going to be fun. I like what I'm seeing right now. I'm definitely happy and with their performance so far. Right now, if I was to grade them, I would definitely give them an A. Can't give them an A plus, because at moments, of course, we have saw them make some knucklehead mistakes. However, they were able to still hold it together and come back and stay strong. So that's what I have right now. Kansas City defense definitely top 5 in the league right now. If I was to go out on a limb and give my rankings, I think they're in that group. So we'll see how the rest of the season go. I can't wait until those matchups later on. And hey, it's going to be a good time in Kansas City. All right. Now, we mentioned this a little bit earlier. We alluded to this as well, too. So Justin Watson dislocated his elbow in a win against the Broncos. With him being out for the next couple of weeks, this is a chance for the young guys to establish themselves in the system and build a chemistry with Mahomes. Out of those we have in the wide receiver room right now, who will you be most excited to see and hope can jump to that next level in the offense?
Yeah, I'm most excited to see, of course, the biggest one, Rasheed Rice. Everybody wants to see him. He's a big yak guy. He's the one that's been making the biggest impact as far as of right now. In that wide receiver room, I want to see everybody step up though. A really big name for me is really Kadarius Toney. I know that he was a gadget guy coming out of college, but this is a guy that I know that has a twitch that is second to none in the league. It's almost reminiscent of Tyreek. He's just not as fast as Tyreek was, but it's similar and reminiscent of that. Just as far as getting out of breaking tackles and getting away from people. This is a guy that I think can be a great wide receiver. Never really showed problem with his hands. When he first came to the team, we played it against Jacksonville. He actually had I feel like that was like one of his best games of his career. If he can get back to that level, gets me back to that type of play, I feel like this is a guy that can really help and lead this wide receiver core. But really, I want to see Rasheed Rice, and I have two in there, Kadarius Toney too. But that's just because he's been on the team for a while. We expected that from him. I know Reid expected it from him. Reid expected it from Sky. I really want to see all of those guys step up. There's so many guys in that room, and we expected so much more from them. I feel like it's not the end of the world, though. They will eventually show up. It's just a matter of time and getting everything together. This is an offense that is dependent on the wide receiver reading a lot of coverage. So it takes a lot of experience on the wide receiver. It puts a lot of onus on the wide receiver. So I don't want to make too many excuses for him, but I want to see all of those guys get going. But the biggest one has to be Rasheed Rice. I want to see if he can step up and take that number one role.
Rasheed Rice, I think, was just an easier, pick for me, just because I've been talking about him the whole time, and I have been a big fan of him as well too. I understand he had a lot of the drop issues. However, he was someone who was a big yak guy, and we saw that same skill set in those games as well too. And you talked about the Jacksonville game. A couple times he could have had like 2 touchdowns in that game, but he was able to get us to the 1 yard line. We was able to punch it in from there. Well, actually, it was a Bears game, excuse me, where he had a couple where he could have scored. But at the same time, that's an easy one. So the one I'm actually going to go with is Justin Ross. The reason why I'm going to go with Justin Ross is because this is someone that we have been hyping up since last season, and we talked about his chance will come when actually we have an injury that is in the wide receiver room, and we expected that as well too. So with someone going to be able to take over the role of Justin Watson, where he was a guy who was able to get behind the defense and he had a route treat that was specific to him because he had that chemistry with Mahomes, I think they're going to give those type of reps to MVS, and then this time just Ross can fill in that MVS role for us to where he can be that guy who goes for those jump balls. We send him on a fade. He does his little post routes as well too, with his height and his ability and his ability to high point the ball as well too. We're definitely going to need that going down the stretch, and then also we can see what we have going forward in the future as well too, because we know Brett Beach is not trying to add any more guys into that wide receiver room just because it's crowded. I understand that, and what he said as well too when he first took the position of GM, that he said he's going to do his best, and he's always going to be able to find weapons to be able to mesh with Mahomes. However, I think right now we have a crowded wide receiver room, and we need to figure out what we have there. It's easy to say that these guys are not talented, but I think they are talented. At moments, I understand that it may seem they may not be able to get separation, but I think this is a problem that we even had when we both had Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins at times as well too. When it gets opposing defenses that were able to just really lock in and understand what the Chiefs were trying to do on the offensive side. We dealt with that with the Patriots. We dealt with it with teams like the Buffalo Bills, where it was a low scoring game. Also, the Cincinnati Bengals as well too. They had games against us where they were able to limit our wide receivers. So I think right now it's just easy to pick on them because there's not really no big name receiver in that room. However, they can still be effective, and it's their chance to actually take advantage of those who are not seeing them as a threat. So Justin Ross, it's time for you to step up, man. You had those drops those last couple of games, but you also had some great catches as well too that actually boosted you and built your confidence as well. I think we're past that stage. I think we're going to see the guy that we saw freshman year with Clemson, someone who has the ability of being a number one wide receiver and who has the same type of play style of a guy like T. Higgins, and also another big body wide receiver as well too. With his height and his size, I don't know why we're not using him as much in the red zone. I think he's someone who was supposed to take that Jody Fortson role that we saw a couple years ago, to where on those goal line fades and also across the middle as well too, where Mahomes was able to throw it up high. He's that guy who can get up there and grab it and bring it down for a touchdown. So I'm ready to see what we have from him. I'm definitely excited. I want to see what Reid does with this offense, but I think he will start running the ball a lot more as well too, just to be able to help with that and try to, really get this offense going and move off that rhythm of Isaiah Pacheco, who's always running every down like it's his last, like it's a 3rd and 1. He's always
Yeah,
running like that. Definitely a workhorse. So
yeah,
I can't wait. I think we had that right there with him. Trust me saying this is not bringing out Kadarius Toney. I think Kadarius Toney and Mahomes got to figure it out with each other, because at this time I think he has the ability to really take that position that we was looking for when Tyreek Hill is missing. But you're not going to be Tyreek Hill, and it's okay. We just need
right.
someone who can be able to really hit that second gear when he gets into the second level, be able to open up his offense and be explosive and be elusive as well too, and be able to bring it down some big catches as well, and just really feed off of that. I want you to be someone who's in the same realm of Travis Kelce. So that's why I'm not talking about him as someone who needs to what I want to see next in his offense. I feel like he should already be there. It's just something he has to figure out with Mahomes right now. Justin Ross is someone I'm ready to elevate within that, because I think these guys, I think we can have a solid 4 or 5 receivers better than what we had when we won the first Super Bowl and a couple years after that as well too. I think we have that talent there.
Yeah, and I think that being that Justin Watson went down, that opens up the door for some guys to get in there and rotate. I know we were already rotating in that room, but that gives some guys some more snaps. Richie James has already got us out of there as well. So, um,
Exactly. All right. So Lonnie, so now that we got you back, brother. So what we was talking about is we was of course going into the receivers, and I was speaking on Justin Ross, how I'm ready for him to step up to this offense, and he's gonna excite me a little bit more. Definitely with the departure of Justin Watson for a while. So you was jumping into your thoughts about that, going additional into that.
Yeah, I just was thinking that it's the being with Justin Watson's out. I feel like we're gonna have a lot more reps in that room. A lot more wide receivers able to get some touches there that weren't able to get touches before. Just being that Justin Watson was that deep threat guy that was coming in for Pat and kind of really just running those deeper routes for Pat. But I feel like it's just gonna open it up. So we're really gonna be able to see we got some replacements and see if that potential is really there.
Yep, we will be able to see. He's going to be out for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we got the Chargers, Broncos again, and then the Dolphins up in Germany. So if it's the time for you to actually get yourself included into this office, this is the perfect time to do it right now. So we know what we got going forward for the later part of the season and also the postseason as well too. Okay, now let's go ahead and jump into our next topic. So, Lonnie, we were just discussing the receivers and talking about who we are excited for, due to Justin Watson getting injured in this last game, and he's going to be out for a couple weeks. We're not happy about that, but we're excited to see what we have with the other wide receivers. It's been a lot of complaints going on with that group as well too, just depending on the separation or the drop balls as well too. That has been our group that has been lacking so far on the offensive side of the ball. But breaking news happened, and it looks like the Kansas City Chiefs actually acquired a former wide receiver that was a part of our team last season that we also drafted him as well too, Mecole Hardman from the Jets. They basically just did some swap picks for 2025, I believe. So we're not losing anything at all, and they also signed him to a 1 year deal for $4 million. So uh, really not affecting us at all on the cap. So how you feel about that and actually having him back on the squad going forward for the rest of the
Yeah, so
season?
I definitely like that look being that Justin Watson is out. I feel like this is the extra key piece, that veteran piece that we needed moving forward, just to kind of help us mask that pain of him being gone. I feel like this brings that extra deep threat element that we had, that we were just so much looking for in this offense for one of those young guys to step up. I feel like it also brings a vet back into that room, someone that knows the offense, someone that can come in and start immediately, someone that already has a role and has had a role in this offense and knows what we're expecting and what we're wanting. So I really think that Mecole will be ready. I like the pickup. I like where we're at. I definitely love it for Patrick Mahomes. It's a guy that he's comfortable with, that he knows. He doesn't have to tell too much about running routes. He kind of knows how he wants his stuff done. It's something that I like to see. I know he wasn't getting a lot of playtime with the Jets, so I figured this would be coming for him. I just didn't know if they were gonna send him home or send him somewhere else. But obviously, it got him sent home. So I'm definitely happy for it, and I love the move, especially being with Justin Watson being out. I feel like this will suffice. I'm gonna be able to keep our offense at a steady pace and keep us going while he's gone, and keep everything in line and really shore up that rotation that we were looking for.
You know, to be honest, at first I'm not gonna lie, I was a guy that was saying, why would you go and trade for a guy that you didn't bring back in the offseason, right? So my whole thought process at that time was like, what was the point of actually doing that? How would that benefit the Kansas City Chiefs? Now I understand the need that we actually need as of now with Richie James actually being hurt. He went on our IR earlier this season, and then also Justin Watson as well too, getting injured as well. So I was like, what was really the point if you couldn't have brought him back in the beginning of the season anyway? And I think that was very important. But at the same time, sorry, excuse me, bless me. But at the same time, I am happy that we are able to bring him back just because we have been missing that element of the jet sweeps with him being out there, out of the offense while he was in New York. And, I love Kadarius Tony, but it seemed like he wasn't as effective as what we saw with Mecole Hardman in previous years. And also, we did a couple with Sky Moore as well too. Not a guy who is known for his speed. He can, read the box pretty well, probably get you a couple yards, get a first down in there. But he's not someone once he gets to the second level that he can hit that second gear and then he can turn that into a touchdown. We had that with Reek when he was here, and then McCole took over that as well too. Something that he has been, very phenomenal with. And also he has that chemistry with Mahomes as well too. I know in the past we are talking about it seems like they haven't had that connection down the field, but looking at over some highlights as well too, it's a couple times that they were able to connect, and it was a great pass and a great catch by Mecole Hardman as well too. So I think bringing him back into this offense, bringing him back into the fold, what it can do is it can shore up that wide receiver room. We can add another body in there that has a relationship with Patrick Mahomes, and now we can see if this offense opens back up as well too, because it's going to be funny if he comes back and this offense start clicking, because that element of what we had going on, you can show that that's a part of the scheme that we like to run in Kansas City, and that's how we like to open up the offense as well too. So I'm definitely happy that we got him back on board. I'm glad it was for nothing, and I'm ready to see what can actually happen going forward for the rest of the season. I know that he's excited to come back as well too. Haven't said much already. He hasn't said much at all on social media. However, I think once he lands back in Kansas City, once he get back into that locker room, once he hit the practice field, I think he's going to be happy to be around familiar faces, guys that he won Super Bowls with as well too, and then it's a chance that Frank Clark come back as well. So it looks like we're going to have a reunion back in Kansas City.
Yeah, and like you said, I like that element that he brings, that speed element, just a second hand. It's just a different element as far as taking the top off that defense. We already know that guys are playing deep, but we really haven't gave the guys a reason to really like guard us that deep. Now that you have him and a guy like MVS and even guys like Richie James, when they're able to come back, guys that can stretch the field, they're going to have to respect you from that deep threat. I feel like he also opens up the offense with the jet sweeps. Now we love Kadarius Toney, but I feel like Mecole Hardman, he knows that position very well. He might be able to. He knows how to finagle and get into the end zone as well with that position. We've seen it against San Francisco. He has a knack for the offense. He knows what he's doing. It really was a reason. Really, the real reason he came back is just because of snaps. He's not getting any snaps over there with the Jets. He'll be a rotational guy for sure here with the Chiefs as soon as he touches down. So, and I'm for the reunion as long as because they're players that have been in the system. So, I feel like they'll definitely touch down and thrive, and they don't need a lot of coaching because this is a system that they're very familiar with.
And over there in New York as well too, and definitely with Aaron Rodgers and his style of ball, they're not really a jet sweep type of team or really a reversal type of team as well too. The Kansas City Chiefs, they like to implement a lot of motion into their offense, and that's what we used him as well when he was here. And he's a gimmicky player, but he's someone who can also take the top off of the defense as well too if he get behind the opposing defensive backs, and which we saw him do that before. It's just at times maybe it wasn't on point with Patrick Mahomes, but he was open as well too. But at least you get that type of threat again, and when you're actually hitting on all cylinders, then it's going to be a big plus for the Kansas City offense. And one thing I alluded to earlier as well too, with Justin Watson being out as well, and then Mecole Hardman coming back, so now you got that player who's going to be your motion guy, who's going to take those jet sweeps, and then also he has a familiar route tree when he gets back here as well. But um Kadarius Toney can take that role of Justin Watson, where that was a route tree that is dependent on guys who understand Patrick Mahomes, and being able to put him in that position as well too. We talked about it before. We wanted to see an extension of that route tree for him. We wanted to see if he actually had that deep ball presence as well. And we saw it in that Jacksonville Jaguars game last year where he adjusted his gloves, went up for the ball, and he was able to hot point it and come down with a big catch. So I think he's able to actually fill in that role, and I think that will help him evolve in his office as well too. So I think this is a plus for the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of people will say, like, what was the point of doing it at all? Well, at the end of the day, it wasn't worth anything. We were able to bring back a familiar face, someone who understands the offense. We were complaining about how the jet sweeps weren't as effective with him being gone as well too. You get that element back for the team. So congratulations. I'm glad we were able to get this done. Welcome back to Kansas City. Let's go ahead and go get you another third Super Bowl and see if you can get a contract after this. But at the end of the day, I respect Beach for what he done. We talked about that as well too. He wasn't going back and getting guys like Justin Houston and all those other guys that's under Dorsey, but he will go back and get his guys. And you see Frank Clark might be coming back into the building as well, just because sometimes you had to bring those familiar faces that you brought in once you took your position as well too, and you're always going to be willing to give your guys a second chance because you saw something in them when you brought them back. So not taking away from the other former players that didn't come back from Kansas City. However, I like what we have done. I like what we will do probably with this offense going forward. Hopefully, we can break loose and get a 30-point game because we got a tough matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers coming up.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
So, all right. Now, before we go ahead and move on to the next topic, make sure you follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, make sure to like, comment, and share on this video as well too. That way, we can get more traction, get more Chiefs Kingdom coming over to tap in with the videos and have a good time. And then also, make sure and like and comment and share on all the other videos we have as well too. Now, Lonnie, it's time to break down Week 7. The Chiefs will be facing off against divisional rivals Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday in Arrowhead Stadium. They recently just lost to the Cowboys on Monday Night Football and will be looking to get back on track Sunday against the Chiefs. This is a team that always plays us until the final minutes, and they have a star quarterback of their own, Justin Herbert. What are your thoughts on this upcoming matchup, and how important is this game for KC? As of now, we have a 3-game lead on all divisional rivals, and a lot of people saying right now this can possibly put us in place to actually win the division going forward. Some people saying if we win this game now, we win the division. Now it's still a lot to go, but that definitely puts us in the right direction. So how you feel about that?
Yeah, we know it's going to be a very hard fought game. If you didn't watch the Dallas game, that was a very close game. It came down to the last second. Justin Herbert is going to play as well. We have beat these teams a lot. Like I said, always say these are professionals. Anytime the victories are lopsided as they are in this rivalry, guys are really wanting to win, and they're really, really trying hard to beat the opposite opposing team. So I really want to see how the Chiefs come into this. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of more man coverage. This is a division opponent, someone that we're very familiar with. I feel like getting that veteran wide receiver back in that room will just really just help. Being that Mecole is a guy that's seen these guys before multiple times, all 4 years when he was here. So this is someone that we've had success on before. But I'm not sure if we're gonna seal up the whole AFC West, being that we haven't seen the Raiders yet, and I know they have a team that'll scratch a flight and claw too. So I don't want to say that it'll definitely win us the AFC West, but I do want to say that the Chiefs better bring their lunch bag, bring their lunch pill, bring their come to work bag, because this is going to be a hard fought game. They're going to play us to the end. We won it on a pick six last year, so I'm hoping that the Chiefs can, like you said, hopefully break loose some type of way against the division opponent, even though I know that the defense is going to be tight. They're going to play us pretty good, have a good plan for Travis. So we're going to have to figure some things out. But I definitely am expecting a lot from the team. I want to see them handle the Chargers pretty well. The Chargers haven't been at their best, especially the offensive line. So I'm expecting a lot from that defensive line. Charles Omenihu will be back, so I'm expecting to see. I want to see what he brings to the table, brings to that defensive line room, being that he was just out 6 games. See if we can see his name pop up in the stat sheet, hopefully, and get a sack. So there's a lot of stuff going into this game. I feel like where we kind of like. I watched the New Heights podcast earlier today, and Travis was saying that Matt Nagy said that they keep talking about breaking out of the slump, and no one is doing it. They need to do it. So I feel like that too. They just need to stop talking about it and let's get it done. Let's get out of the slump offense, and let's see if we can put it together on D again.
Facts, bro. Like it's at the point now to where we got to come out here and just have a dominant performance. Now, it is going to be a tough matchup. This is a team that has the most games played where they either won by a touchdown or lost by a touchdown or less. So they always play to the final minutes. It's just you got to be able to be the one who come up on top, probably get a stop, probably score a touchdown, kick a field goal. But you're going to have to bring your all because regardless of the record, regardless of how some matchups in the past has went, and it might have not went their way. It seems like they do not have the best of luck. They still have the talent on that side of the ball on both offense and defense to where they can make it a game. Defensively, they got Derwin James, they got Joey Bosa, they got Khalil Mack, they got Asante Samuel Jr. They got some talent to where they can make some plays on that side of the ball. And if Mahomes is not playing at his best and he's not focused, he can actually, give it up to them because they're definitely going to be head hunting. They know once they play the Kansas City Chiefs how those games go. They know that we have one of the top offenses in the league, and they're going to make sure to really just cover what we have going on, and then they honestly know what's best as well too. Regardless of the other close matchups that we had against other teams, this is a team that we play all the time, and we just know one another. We always had the closest battles in the past as well too, and we always bring that same effort and bring that same energy, and it's never boring game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. So we know they got some dogs over there, and we need to be prepared. And then also offensively, however, whatever people feel about Justin Herbert, he is a baller still. He can still come out there and put on a show. He can still put up 300 plus yards. And then he got a guy by the name of Keenan Allen, who is one of the best route runners in the league. He's a dog. Regardless of how he plays, he can talk his talk and still walk it as well too. He's someone who does what he say. At the same time, we can still take advantage of that and limit his impact on the game as well too, and that's what we're gonna have to do. They got Austin Eckler back, one of their best running back on the team, someone who is considered top 5 in his position as well too when healthy. So we know that they like to do a lot of screens, and they're going to try to make opportunities for them to take advantage of that. So defensively, like you said, we got Charles Omenihu coming back. I understand that it's a possibility of Frank coming back as well too. Definitely going to be doing a physical. He will be doing a physical on Thursday, so we'll see how that goes. But if he is signed, he may not be available for that game. Probably be a week or so before he come back. Probably for that Miami game, if so. So, but still, this is a group that has been the best on the Chiefs so far this season, going into Week 7. Chris Jones playing out of his mind. 8 consecutive games with a sack. George Karlaftis balling out as well too. Mike Dana balling out as well too. Derek Nottie having one of his better seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs, and then our defensive backs. Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, Brian Cook, Justin Reid, who had a pick last game. We got some people who's coming, and we got Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, Drew Tranquil, and Leo Chanel as well. I just named the whole defense. That's how much they are dogs. Top 5. I'm for real. It's phenomenal. So if the offense is able to pick it up, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long postseason for the AFC as well, too, and whoever we play in the Super Bowl. So I'm definitely hyped up. I'm definitely ready to see what we have going forward. This is going to be definitely a fun matchup. And regardless of the record, this is going to tell us if the Chiefs are for real or not, because the Los Angeles Chargers, they're not going to lay down. Like I said before, that offense, that's going to be a good practice for us when we go up against a team like the Miami Dolphins or the Josh Allen and the Bills, or the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. We'll be prepared for that. So if we're able to be as dominant as we was earlier in the season on defense, offense eventually is going to catch up sooner or later. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens on Sunday at 3:25 in Arrowhead Stadium. We know it's going to be rocking. Definitely if we have some returning Chiefs as well too. They're going to be hyped up, ready to go. Who knows what it becomes, man? Who knows what it becomes? So we'll see. Any last thoughts you have before we move on to our predictions?
No, we're just gonna be fun to watch Chiefs football because, like you said, the offense is struggling. We know they'll eventually get it together. They just got a vet in that room, so it's gonna be fun watching them get it together. And just let's see if this defense pin their ears back and hunt, baby.
Facts. We'll see. We only days away. It's going to be very exciting. Now, it's time to go into our predictions for the game. So the producer's prediction for the game is 27-23 Chiefs. So basically predicted it's going to be a close one. We have had it to where it was 27-10, 9, of course, because we weren't respecting those opposing offenses. But this is the Chargers. They have some weapons. They have a group that, plays us the toughest as well every season. So, Lonnie, what are your predictions for this upcoming game against the Los Angeles Chargers?
I'll go 24-17.
24-17?
Mm-hmm. We win by a
Okay.
touchdown.
So you keeping the defense, keeping the opposing offense at bay under 20 points.
Under 20 points for sure.
Okay.
That's how confident I'm feeling in the defense, and that's why I think the offense to get it to going that much where we can at least get another touchdown.
Okay. I'm gonna go 29-19, Kansas City. I think we have moments to where they expose our defense a little bit. However, we're going to be bending and not breaking. We understand this is going to be an offense that can move the ball down the field, but I think they're going to make clutch plays to where Brandon Staley likes to, take his opportunities, go for it on fourth down. I think we're going to get a couple stops like we did in that Jets game, in that a game against the Vikings, and also last week against the Broncos as well too. So I think we're going to be able to have some moments like that. Also, I think we'll be able to get a couple turnovers as well too. I think we get a forced fumble and another pick. Justin Herbert usually plays a clean game against us. That's why I say one pick. I don't think we get him twice. However, I think we will get a lot of pressure, and I can see us getting 4 sacks. I think it could be that type of day in Kansas City for the defensive line, with Charles Omenihu back, ready, hungry, ready to go. I think we're going to have some more interior pass rush along with Chris Jones as well. Then also moving him to the outside at defensive end, we're going to be able to have different packages where it confuses them. So I think we're going to be able to take advantage. Patrick Mahomes, I think he's going to have a clean game. I think he will throw over 300 yards. I think he will have 3 touchdowns. And I think Isaiah Pacheco, he just kills it on the ground for us. I think everybody's going to get some touches. I think this will be the first game back for Mecole as well too. So we'll see. We'll see. The
Yep.
jet has landed. The jet has landed.
For sure.
I think we get him involved with a couple jet sweeps. Get his feel back for the game, get his snaps back into there as well too. We know he complained about that a lot in New York, so I think we're able to pull this off. So I think he might be able to, probably have 20-30 yards rushing, probably about 30
It'll
to
be a
40
red
yards
zone threat
receiving.
for sure.
Be a red zone threat, get him a
For sure.
touchdown in there, make him feel make him feel welcome in Chiefs Kingdom back in Kansas City, Missouri. So I think it's going to be a good game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Not putting them on over 30 points yet. I think it's just going to be a clean performance for them, and we're not going to have to complain as much. So we'll see how that goes. So that's all we have for this episode of Chiefin. Make sure to follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Red Kingdom Media. Also, make sure to like, comment, and share on this video as well too. And really show us some love and follow us on all social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media as well. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, all of that. So tap in, show us some love. So, Lonnie, anything for the people before we out of here, bro?
No. Let's just see what we can get out of here with this dub. Get these two divisional opponents here. We got the Chargers, then we got the Broncos. Let's take a stronghold and go ahead and show them that we're not playing no more defense. Let's go.
Yep, let's hold on to that number 1 seed in the AFC as well too. If we can get a couple more wins, that put us at an advantage with the rest of the AFC conference, and that's what we need. So that's all we have for you on this episode of Chiefin. We'll tap in with you, show some love, and we'll talk to you next time. Go Chiefs!
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate. Your trusted source for all things Chiefs. Red Kingdom Media.